So do you remember how we told, this is a former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett of Israel, and I think I showed you this before. I'll show it to you again. The Greater Israel Project involves Israel going into Saudi Arabia, going into Iraq, going into Egypt, and going into Turkey. And going into Syria. So they've already taken a third of Syria, Israel. We already did Iraq for them. And now they want to do Turkey. So they've already bombed Saudi Arabia. Israel did. They already tried to bomb Qatar. Israel did. And now here's the former prime minister telling you that they want to bomb Turkey. Listen.
A new Turkish threat is emerging. I want to be very clear. Turkey and Qatar have gained influence in Syria, are seeking influence elsewhere and everywhere throughout the region. And from here, I warn, Turkey is the new Iran.
So he said this just a few weeks ago.
Erdogan is sophisticated, dangerous, and he seeks to encircle Israel. And while some senior...
I thought that was Iraq. Then I thought that was Libya. I thought that was Assad. I thought that was Iran. Now it's Turkey. They're seeking to encircle everybody.
Didn't sound like strong applause for his.
It was not strong applause. It was like his wife going.
Israelis were on Qatar's payroll. Qatar and Turkey are nourishing the Islamic Brotherhood monster that is growing and eventually might become as dangerous as the one created by Iran. Turkey and Qatar are gaining influence not only in Syria, but also in Gaza, through the front door, and everywhere, and trying to create a new choke ring. Turkey is trying to flip Saudi Arabia against us and establish a hostile Sunni axis with nuclear Pakistan.
So that shows you how crazy Israel is. They want to attack everybody. They want to attack Saudi Arabia. They want to attack Qatar. They want to attack Turkey. They've already attacked Syria, Libya, Iran.
Want us to do it. They don't want to do it.
Right. They want
their Shabbos Goy to do it.
So it turns out, so this has already come true. So Israel has attacked Turkey. And here's our friend Nico House to tell us about it.
If it wasn't obvious that Israel is trying to get NATO powers involved in this war against Iran before, it should be now. A ballistic missile was launched at Turkey out of nowhere, and NATO shot it down. And of course, the blame was immediately put on Iran once again. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of proof to validate that claim, because if you're going to claim that Iran is firing at one of its regional allies, I hope you guys have some evidence to support it. Yeah, there actually isn't any evidence. In fact, the only materials that have been shown publicly is debris, which Turkey says comes from the interceptor missile from the NATO systems. In other words, there's no proof whatsoever that Iran launched this attack, and yet the world is once again pretending as if it did. And of course, once again, Iran acknowledging, yeah, we've done a lot of damage to a lot of US allies, but this was not us, once again. Now, the first question we have to ask is, who would stand the most to gain by the world jumping to conclusions that Turkey was attacked by Iran? And of course, the answer is Israel. You see, Turkey is a part of NATO. And when a NATO power is attacked unprovoked, it triggers what's called Article Section 5, which, to make a long story short, is basically all of NATO being on your goddamn head. Now, the logical question will be, well, then why isn't all of NATO jumping in right now, considering that the US is part of NATO? It's because Iran has only responded to the attacks from the US. They did not initiate those attacks. But Iran was also accused of attacking another NATO country early on, the UK, because the UK has a sovereign base in Cyprus, and attacking that base is actually akin to attacking the UK directly. And with the news that the Kurds would be sent into Iran by the CIA and armed to try to take over the government, you would want to do your best to make sure that Turkey is on your side and not Iran's side, because Turkey and the Kurds do not get along. So we see an attack on Azerbaijan, and Iran said they didn't do it. Then we see an attack towards Turkey, where the missile was intercepted, and Iran also said they didn't do it. And Turkey borders Azerbaijan. And although Azerbaijan and Turkey have a working military relationship, so does Azerbaijan and Iran for the most part. So, how do you ensure Turkey stays on your side despite the fact that you plan on arming the people that they most dislike? You have the country in question attack Turkey directly. This way you kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You open up a direct route through Turkey and Azerbaijan to attack Iran. You potentially convince all of the NATO powers to join because of Article 5. And if Turkey truly believed that they were attacked by Iran, then they would likely put their feelings about the Kurds to the side, like they did in Syria, and deal with the country that just attacked them, despite the fact they thought that they were allies and the fact that Turkey condemned the attacks on Iran since the start of this war. And you convince one of the countries closest to Iran to start using its weapon systems against Iran as well. All the signs are there, people. Just pay attention. Israel is literally revealing their plans in real time. It's just up to you as to whether or not you want to believe them. Because after all this time and all this history and all the examples we have from the past, I definitely believe them. They ain't got to convince me no more. It's y'all that got to convince.
So, great work. So we've also showed you videotapes of Tucker Carlson saying that they caught Mossad inside Qatar trying to plant bomb. Qatar and I think Saudi Arabia, but we know that Israel bombed Saudi Arabia's oil, or one of their oil refineries. So we know this. So
Qatar being the country that delivered the money to Hamas on behalf of Bibi Netanyahu.
That's right.
Who paid for Hamas and the false flag that they use as a pretense to do a genocide. That
is correct. So it's no secret that Israel wanted to attack Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. They've done it. And so this is they're trying to drag NATO into this war for sure. We'll see what happens. Israel is the cancer. Israel is the stabilizer of the Middle East, and having a destabilized Middle East is bad for the entire world, except it's good for Israel.
I have some super chat fan on the Dirt with Gerb show that keeps telling me that according to the Bible code, already I'm like not in, Bibi gets slimed in July, which I had to look up what that meant, but that they get sick of Bibi in July. So, it's probably nonsense, but boy, what a fun thing if that happened. And it was like, oh, it was in a Bible code.
Wow. Well, if you'd like to hear my jokes about this, come see me in San Antonio, Albuquerque, Houston, Dallas, Salt Lake City, and then April 17th we'll be in Los Angeles at the Comedy Store. Only 70 tickets left. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and then we'll see you in Las Vegas, Tulsa, and Oklahoma City. Over to Steph.
Okay, this is from Hart in response to Steph from last week as to whether or not I'm for using wild horses to fight fires or against it. I'm for it. I want to know if Elaine Colati would be in favor of it too. Hart, I'll see if I can get a response for you on that one. That's interesting. Now you say using wild horses. Wild horses. How could you use wild horses? Wouldn't they have to be trained to be able to help with fighting fires? All right, Hart, we'll figure this out together. MAGA, make America Goyim again, FSO. Kerp is absolutely right. Pete Hegseth said a few days ago that Iran tried to Trump, but Trump got the last laugh. Savage. B-man.
Okay.
Oh, back to Jimmy.